Habang nakatigil ang mundo, habang ligtas tayo sa ating mga tahanan, may mga pumiling manatili sa harap ng tigmaan. Laban sa COVID-19. Para sa inyong patuloy na nagpapatakbo sa makina ng bansa. Para sa inyong laging nakaabang sa ating mga daungan at paliparan. Para sa inyong nagtatawid ng aming mga pangangailangan sa kalsada, karagatan, at himpapawid. Para sa inyong mga nagbabantay sa mga warehouse at terminal. Para sa inyong mga nakikipagsapalaran sa daan. Para sa inyong naghahatid sa amin ng malasakit at kabayanihan. Kayong mga frontliners sa logistics at supply chain. Kakibat kayo ng mga doktor, nurse, sundalo at pulis. Patid namin ang mga sakripisyo ninyo at pagtitiis. Kasama ang buong sambayanan, kaming lahat ay nagbibigay-pugay at puso-puso papasalamat sa pagharap ninyo sa tiyak na pahamak para sa bayan. Mabuhay kayo, mga bayani ng bayan.
Kaya natin yan. Kaya natin yan. Kung nais umasenso, manap ng trabaho, o di kaya'y subukang magnegosyo. Lumikha ng produkto at sikaping lumago, inspirasyon mong pagkapiko. Katuwang ng gobyerno sa iyong tagumpay, iisa ang ating hangarin. Pag may abilidad at oportunidad, tiyak na ang lahat ay uunlad. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan. Walang iwanan. Go lang ng go mga kaibigan. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan. Sulong Pilipinas! Go, 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 kababayan! Kaya natin yan. Kaya natin yan. Kayaw magtipid sa iyong mga pangarap. Sige-sige sa pagsisikap. Asenso'y sigurado sa hinaharap. Manalig lang palagi sa sarili. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan. Walang iwanan. Go lang ng go mga kaibigan. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan. Sulong Pilipinas! Go, 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 kababayan! Kaya natin yan. Kaya natin yan.
Habang nakatigil ang mundo, habang ligtas tayo sa ating mga tahanan, may mga pumiling manatili sa harap ng tigmaan. Laban sa COVID-19. Para sa inyong patuloy na nagpapatakbo sa makina ng bansa. Para sa inyong laging nakaabang sa ating mga daungan at paliparan. Para sa inyong nagtatawid ng aming mga pangangailangan sa kalsada, karagatan, at himpapawid. Para sa inyong mga nagbabantay sa mga warehouse at terminal. Para sa inyong mga nakikipagsapalaran sa daan. Para sa inyong naghahatid sa amin ng malasakit at kabayanihan. Kayong mga frontliners sa logistics at supply chain. Kakibat kayo ng mga tuktok, nurse, sundalo at pulis. Patid namin ang mga sakripisyo ninyo at pagtitiis. Kasama ang buong sambayanan, kaming lahat ay nagbibigay pugay at puso-puso papasalamat sa pagharap ninyo sa tiyak na pahamak para sa bayan. Mabuhay kayo, mga bayani ng bayan.
Kaya natin yan. Kaya natin yan. Kung nais umasenso, manap ng trabaho, o di kaya'y subukang magnegosyo. Lumikha ng produkto't sikaping lumago, inspirasyon mong pagkapiko. Katuwang ng gobyerno sa iyong tagumpay, iisa ang ating hangarin. Pag may abilidad at oportunidad, tiyak na ang lahat ay uunlad. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan. Walang iwanan. Go lang ng go mga kaibigan. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan. Sulong Pilipinas! Go, 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 kababayan! Kaya natin yan. Kaya natin yan. Kayaw magtipid sa iyong mga pangarap. Sige-sige sa pagsisikap. Asenso'y sigurado sa hinaharap. Manalig lang palagi sa sarili. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan. Walang iwanan. Go lang ng go mga kaibigan. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan. Sulong Pilipinas! Go, 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 kababayan! Kaya natin yan. Kaya natin yan.
All right. Magandang hapon po. Good afternoon, everyone. It's May 2, 3 o'clock. And this is TJ Parpan, your moderator for this afternoon's panel. The panel is how to transform your business through e-commerce. This is the second to the last webinar for today after 4 days of very fruitful webinars. So thank you everyone to all our participants and our panelists for joining. So I am TJ Parpan again, the Managing Director of Thames International Business School. On behalf of the organizing team, I'd like to welcome all of you to this panel. This is the second time we are having this topic, but with a new set of panelists. And this webinar is a part of DTI's initiative to further accelerate the government's effort para sa mga pagpatulong sa micro and small and medium enterprises to engage in e-commerce. At yung pangalan ng programa nito ay Control Plus Biz, Reboot Now. It includes a range of support services such as access to e-commerce platforms and enablers, access to loans, discounts from delivery platforms, and free training and webinars such as this. Actually, ito yung first part of a series we started last April 29. And then there will be actually a second part po of these webinars sometime in May, I think starting May 12. So please check out the DTI Facebook pages, the main DTI page and the DTI e-commerce page for the final schedules of part 2 of the Control Plus Biz Reboot Now. But before we begin this afternoon's panel discussion, I'd like to welcome the DTI Philippine Trade Training Center's Director, Mr. Nestor Palabiap, to give opening remarks for this afternoon's webinar. Director Nestor, over to you.
So magandang hapon sa lahat. Good afternoon, maayong buntag, hapon for those who are in the Visayas. So let's continue our session today because katulad ng virus ng bilis kumalat, pabilis din magbago ang ating mga challenges na we have to face. And we're here partnering with those who are updated sa mga dapat nating gawin to continue our survival and driving our business. At this point, I would also like to thank all companies who made this event possible. Thames International Business School and our agency presented here at the Philippine Trade Training Center. Our learning partners, Wonderman Thompson, as the agency partner for the visuals, etc. And of course, I will mention them in all our partners alphabetical order. Food Panda, Gcash, Google, Grab Express and Grab Food, Lala Move, Lazada, Feedmore, Paymaya, QuadX Paylink and QuadX GoGo Express, Shopee, Singapore Institute of Materials, UnionBank, and Zalora. So make this session very productive so we can all come together and fight this virus. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Director. So with that, let's continue. We will begin now our session for this afternoon. And let me just get my notes ready. Okay, again, our session for this afternoon is a panel discussion on how to transform your business through e-commerce. So we'll be following a panel discussion format where we will have 3 of our panelists who I will introduce. And if they can switch on their videos and audio for a quick recognition. And then we'll be addressing a number of questions after the panel discussion. But for now, please join me in introducing Ms. Dana Maharokon, Managing Director of Lala Move. Hello, Dana.
Hello, JB. Hello, TJ. Sorry, and hello, everyone. Good afternoon.
And also, please join me in welcoming Mr. Petrus Carbonell, Business Development Head of Lazada, who's spoken also in our previous webinars. Hello, Petrus.
Hi, TJ. Hi, everybody who's watching. Welcome, and thank you for inviting us here. Very happy to be part of this.
Okay, and we have also Mr. JP Soliman, Vice President of UnionBank.
Hi, magandang hapon po sa lahat. Nice to see you all again.
All right, thank you very much. I'm the Managing Director of Thames International, but before coming on board into the space of education and the academe, I spent 25 years in integrated marketing communications and 20 years of that po in sa digital marketing. I'm, digital and e-commerce is also very close to my heart, not just as an educator, but also po as a practitioner. And for our panelists, and I think the context po nito for Lazada and Lala Move, they are platform-based companies and are inherently digitally enabled. UnionBank, if you are not aware, has been undergoing its digital transformation for the past number of years, and their journey yet continues. And there is also another segment of companies, such as some of our MSMEs, who are still exploring po yung journey to digital transformation, and specifically po sa e-commerce. Kasi if they have an existing business and products, going to e-commerce is one of the easiest things to do. And also using available platforms to advertise your products, such as Facebook, Instagram, Google, and the like. But just to put also po in the context, the situation we're in, there is no doubt we are in a very volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world. Yung mga words po na yun, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous, is an acronym actually being used across several industries. It's called VUCA. We are in a VUCA world. Nung Enero pa lang, nung pumutok yung taal to with what happened with COVID, medyo talagang nayanig yung mundo natin as consumers and as business owners. So we are in a VUCA world. And I think that is that thinking is carried with us throughout any challenge, may they be to the scale of an eruption or of a pandemic. I think all businesses will have their ups and downs and face various challenges. And I think we're looking at digital transformation as a way to stay competitive and continue innovation in these times. So I just like to start by maybe giving a quick and brief introduction and even a definition of what we can mean by when we talk about digital transformation. So allow me to share my screen, and this will just be a few slides. So when we talk about digital transformation, maybe we can look at a definition. But siguro po yung mindset po natin, when we talk about digital transformation, baka mas malaki na dapat yung definition natin. I think we should all be looking at a business transformation because digital does enable it, but our thinking now is for our entire business. And one possible definition that I'm offering here is that business transformation is the insightful application of customer-centric and digitally driven strategies onto the key domains of a business that allows it to continuously evolve in its creation of value for its customers. So it's a matalinong application ng customer-centric and digitally driven strategy sa mga domains o yung mga aspeto ng isang business. And what I'm going to show are an example of what these domains or pillars are. Depending on various frameworks, iba-iba rin yung mga combination nito. It could be 4 pillars or 5 pillars. In this case, these are 7 pillars. I'd like to show you the first pillar, which companies can consider in their transformation, is the aspect of purpose or an organization's why or reason for being. But why are your companies in existence? Why are you offering your products and services? And there are many ways of figuring this out through probably the golden circles or baka meron na kayong vision and mission. Ano yung purpose nyo ng company niyo? Next pillar could be the people, the organization's empowered and engaged human resources. So again, to get the company running, it's really it's needed are the people. Maybe a team of 1 or a company of 1,000. It's always the people that will get things going. And there are many things to consider in terms of how do we empower our people from their basic needs all the way for them to align to what our purpose is all about. So they're aligned with our growth. The third pillar that we can consider is also the process, an organization's ideal methods of doing work that drives efficient operations. So mga pamamaraan natin, mga proseso, mga sistema na ginagamit natin. If we are in a brick and mortar industry, more and more, we're shifting nowadays to automated and digital processes. Next, and thinking about it is just to share, is when we think of our processes, it's always good to look at the human aspect of our processes. From what problems are we solving and how do we make our processes now part and parcel of our innovation. The next pillar we can consider, of course, is our product. This is something that all of the businesses are very familiar with. It's your organization's offering that delivers value. Pero maganda po yung siguro to think about it when you deliver value, it's across yung buong customer experience of your end user, because it's not just when they learn about your product, it's when they buy it. After they buy it, it's their customer servicing that happens after. So yung journey na yun, tuloy-tuloy yan. Hindi yan one-off para sa mga customers natin. And with all of that, ideally, it's driving your profit. It's an organization's management of finances that provides stability and potential for growth. And we are familiar with these concepts, but we're looking now, how can we use platforms or technology para, bumaba yung cost natin, para tumaas yung profit natin. And then with all of this, it starts addressing yung position po natin sa market, because we want to differentiate ourselves in the market we're in to, again, offer as much value to our end users. So it's importante na mas mataas yung position natin para makilala tayo sa market. And there are many ways of figuring this out. In this diagram, ito po yung Porter's 5 forces. Maraming paraan to figure out your position in the market. But I also wanted to add this last pillar to consider. It's called perspective. Or mas konektado po to sa data and analytics, because it's an organization's ability to use actionable insights from data. Yung data ngayon, pag may mga e-commerce platforms tayo or even mga do-it-yourself platforms such as Facebook and Google, marami pong information dyan. But how do you turn that into insight para mas maganda yung decision-making po natin sa transformation natin? So again, these are just an example of the pillars: purpose, people, process, product, profit, position, and perspective. And on a per company, may iba-ibang combination po nito. And I just wanted to use this as a kick-off in terms of our discussion po, because for successful transformation to happen, yes, we have to look at the technology. But maybe in the first part of our panel discussion, I'd love to hear from the panelists po, ano po yung approach ninyo sa internal transformation sa mga company ninyo? How did you start? I mean, what was your reason for being? And how does that drive how does your internal transformations, or what are your internal focuses sa organizations ninyo that allows you to actually transform faced with all of these challenges that happen almost on a regular basis? So if I can invite maybe Dana to share her point of view on this question.
Hello, thank you for that, TJ. Good afternoon again to everyone. I'll start with a little bit of an introduction on Lala Move first. So Lala Move is an on-demand delivery platform. We're present in 12 countries and over 200 cities. As TJ mentioned earlier, we are a digitally inclined company. We're present in both Manila and Cebu here in the Philippines. Our digital services, or our delivery services, focuses on MSMEs needs, as we provide a highly flexible platform with a variety of fleets ranging from mga motor, SUV or MPV, vans, at light trucks. So being a digital platform, when we were starting out, ang tawag sa companies like Lala Move, like Grab and the like, are disruptors, right? So for Lala Move's case, we were a disruptor to traditional logistics. But what makes Lala Move different, apart from its technology, of course, is its focus on servicing MSMEs, especially in the Philippines, where 99% of registered businesses are MSMEs. It was a great value proposition for us to provide fast, simple, and affordable deliveries. This value creation has allowed us to fulfill our mission, or as TJ mentioned earlier, the why of the company, our mission to empower local communities. Pag sinabi nating local communities para sa Lala Move, dalawa po yan. Ang ating mga customers, which are our SMEs and MSMEs, at ang ating mga drivers. Paano po ginagawa ng Lala Move iyon? Ang mga customers or ang mga businesses, natutulungan po natin na makapag-deliver at ma-expand ang reach nila sa kanilang mga customer even further through deliveries. Sa mga drivers naman, natutulungan natin ang mga drivers na, by the way, negosyante rin naman po, na kumita gamit ang kanilang mga vehicles. So, na-mention din kanina ang customer-centric, digitally driven. No? So these two are inherent to what Lala Move does. And as we continue to expand in the Philippines, we center everything that we do on this why, on empowering local communities, which we feel is the very reason for our success here. And we look forward to continuing this success as the years progresses.
Okay, salamat, Dana. So yung great to hear that your focus really is to create value for MSMEs and also for local communities. Thank you, Dana. if I can ask JP of UnionBank to share his point of view in terms of their purpose.
Hi everyone. Gandang hapon po. I guess marami pong nakakaalam din na Union Bank talagang dumaan kami sa napakahabang digital transformation. Ilang taon na ba? Saka 4.5 years na kami in this transformation journey. And I'm happy to say that, well, some people, yung iba sa bangko, sinasabi nasa phase 3 na daw kami, nasa phase 4, phase 5. Pero lahat yan talaga nagsimula 4 or 5 years ago internally sa amin mga union bankers mismo, sa mga tao namin. So it's the people aspect. Unang-unang ginawa namin was inalam namin na ready ba kami? Ready ba yung mga tao namin dito sa transformation na gagawin? Kasi po pag sinabing digital transformation, minsan napaka-grande niyan eh. Nakatingin lahat kagad, ano ba yung end? Saan tayo yung pinakagusto nating heaven na pupuntahan being a very digitally transformed company? And coming from a very, very large bank as we are, medyo mahirap din yun. Mahirap din talaga siya gawin. So, inuna namin yung tao. So much of employee engagement activities ang nangyari. We had to find out nasang level na yung mga tao namin in terms of transformation, saan namin sila kailangan dalhin. In fact, it's really more about parang culture change na yung dating, no? Bakit? Kasi yung tao ang unang-unang haharap sa customer. 'Di ba? Kailangan siguraduhin namin yung mga tao namin customer focused to the heart, to the core nila. Kasi every time you talk about digital transformation, andyan lagi nakadikit dyan yung customer centricity, yung concept ng customer centricity. Hindi kami gagawa ng anong technology or bagong produkto or bagong process kung hindi rin naman importante at kailangan ng aming customers. So kailangan yung mga tao namin sa umpisa pa lang nakikinig at marunong makinig sa customers namin. That's one. Second is collaborative ba sila? Diba? Yung mga tao namin being collaborative, being wala akong sikretong itatago sa kapwa union banker. Wala akong sikretong itatago sa mga customers ko. That's collaborative. Magsama-sama kami, magtulong-tulong mag-isip, and then we develop accordingly. Right? And then of course, on the technology side, kailangan maging ready rin kami. Yung mga tao ba namin marunong mag-program? Unang-unang tanong yun. Kailangan ba namin mag-hire ng mga programmers? May mga tao ba kami na magaling sa tinatawag na mga design thinking methodologies or lean startup methodologies? Yung mga ganyang bagay. Tinuruan namin yung mga tao namin, lahat. Hanggang sa sekretarya, sa tellers, sa mga nasa back office, lahat tinuruan, lahat natuto. Kaya nga po, nagkaroon din kami ng transformation sa mga empleyado. Yung dati naming clerk o yung dating typist na tinatawag, ngayon, coder na siya. So nagbago rin, nag-transform din pati yung trabaho nila. Yung dating nakaharap sa branch na yung tinatawag ng mga tao na new accounts, ngayon, iba na rin ang posisyon niya, more on IT related kasi natuto rin sila. So yun po, unang-unang ginawa namin talaga, tinransform namin yung mindset, yung kultura ng mga tao sa loob, bago po kami nag-proceed to phase 2 or phase 3, which is more about the different products and technologies that we have out in the market. And now what we're saying is we are in mga phase 4 or phase 5, which is all about what we call commercialization. Ito na po yung binibigay na po namin sa mga kliyente namin at sa tao kung ano po yung mga nagawa na namin. Kaya po recently, maybe in the past year, nakita nyo na yung mga online account opening, mobile app account opening, interbank transfer sa mobile app, transfer to remittance centers through mobile app. Di ba po, yun yung mga araw-araw na ginagawa natin sa buhay na yun po yung insight na nakuha ng aming mga tao. And since our people are collaborative and no more advanced in terms of digital, nakapag-innovate po kami ng tamang produkto para po sa mga customers namin. So, medyo mahaba po talagang diskusyon ang digital transformation ng Union Bank. Minsan po isang araw yan just to present our own digital transformation journey. Pero kung meron po ako may impart kung saan tayo magsisimula, unang-una po talaga unahin natin sarili natin, mga tao natin. Gaano tayo kahanda? At ihanda natin sila kung meron man tayong gagawing transformation. Yun lang po muna.
Okay. Thank you. Maraming salamat, JP. So, it's interesting to see yung proseso. Kasi it is a long process and I think paratis malaman din ng mga MSMEs natin is whatever we're doing, we're in it for the long haul. And it is also for our our businesses also to try to survive at this point, to survive first and to thrive. Yung supporting our people sa transformation. And I think I like what you mentioned, JP, because culture change, pero tumawid din siya sa upskilling po ng mga tao. So aside from the culture change, there is also yung work stability is also added to, or there's an upskilling because lumalawak na rin po yung skills at yung probably yung mga tungkulin din nila within the bank or any organization. So salamat, JP. May we hear from Petrus from Lazada.
Hi. No, Lazada actually has been a beautiful story of transformation over the past years. The Lazada today is very different from Lazada when it was established in the Philippines in 2012. At the heart of it is actually yung mission namin, which is to accelerate progress in the Philippines and to serve our community. Na who are they? Sila po yung mga sellers at mga buyers. Yung sellers po, tulad ng mga nanonood siguro today, which is mga MSMEs. Sila po talaga yung iniisip natin. And over the years, with this at hand, at the core, using technology to help everybody in that community. So that being said, from 2012, you started as an e-commerce site. And then later on, Lazada realized na what are the biggest barriers, which one of them was logistics. So Lazada had to transition and to create Lazada Express, and later on improve it to become Lazada e-logistics. So that's one of the things that we tried to solve, and that's part of the transformation that happened over a number of years. We also had to, later on, we realized na ano pala yung mga tao, hindi pala marami yung may credit card or comfortable with using mga banks, e-commerce, e-payments, cashless. So we had to open cash on delivery. So that was a big step kasi we realized na, okay, our customers, yung mga buyers, gusto talaga niyan mag-cash on delivery. So that's one of the steps we had to do. Also in transformation, we had to create a Lazada wallet. Kasi even though there are people who have credit cards, there are also people who do not have credit cards but are willing to do cashless transactions. So kaya nagkaroon ng mga Lazada wallet. And then recently, we realized that people are also not just on the site to buy. Some of them are there to also entertain themselves. So parang if you go to a mall, for example, ang ginagawa mo dun is to entertain yourselves and then do some transactions. Similar din yan sa actions of people online. So we had to create mga consumer engagement modules. For example, ng live stream, flash sales, and things that will be entertaining for people. For example, we also have mga slash it, mga price slash, ganyan, para ma-engage yung mga customers who are already online. Well, at the heart of it, in terms of transformation, it is keeping to the core na, as I said a while ago, our mission na to accelerate progress through technology. So yan po, ever since the start until end, Lazada's been a story of entrepreneurship, but keeping to the core. So what I'd like to impart, what I'm trying to say is that if we start with the why, it's always how do we serve our community? How do we serve our sellers and buyers in our case? And at the end of the day, transformation is all about serving these customers and our buyers.
Okay, thank you very much, Petrus. So it looks like there is a common theme really is that if your organization is very clear about your purpose, your mission, kung sino yung sinaserve nyo. Di ba usually yung purpose niyan, may beneficiary yan eh. And in this case, it's not your shareholders eh. I mean, of course, they will benefit, pero yung end consumer. At the same time, I think you mentioned, Petrus, I think similar to all, even for MSMEs, hindi lang yung customer, may ecosystem yan ng yung kasama nyo, di ba? From logistics, from suppliers, from messenger, ang dami pong kasama dun. So how will they benefit from it? And what I also heard is, since kung klaro po yung purpose, things may change, technologies will change, consumer behavior may change, pero it might be actually easier to adjust to those changes because klaro pa rin po yung purpose. I like how purpose is discussed in other conferences, or yung mindset na parang it's your North Star. Parang hindi nagbabago ang placement ng purpose mo. You might be zigging and zagging or paiba-iba yung direction dahil sa nangyayari sa environment, sa customers, but yung North Star po hindi nagbabago yun. It guides you. So it's I just wanted to hear the points of view coming from what's important po within an organization to make sure transformation happens. So if we could touch on a bit more on the benefits of a transformation and also maybe also in specific to the e-commerce space in terms of a transformation. And when we do talk about e-commerce, it really is pretty broad and deep because now it considers everything from our online storefronts, may they in whatever format they may be, and then of course the actual transactions and everything that comes with it from fulfillment. But from your experiences, well, what are the benefits of a transformation through e-commerce? But also, hopefully, I'd like to address some of the questions that have come in. Maybe you could squeeze in some of your responses, because there are questions of, is digital transformation expensive? So there's that typical notion, and of course, it's a valid question. So is it expensive? And there's another question asking, paano po yung mga employees natin na parang nawalan ng trabaho because of transformation? Things to consider. So let me go back to that. So now we're talking about if we're moving forward with the transformation, what are the benefits of a transformation and utilizing e-commerce solutions, but maybe again answering, is it expensive, and how do we support employees or people in the workforce who might be made redundant? That's the initial fear, yung redundancy kasi na-automate and na-digitize. Pero how do we support our people? Maybe we can have Petrus to begin this time.
Yeah, benefits of transformation, especially digital, no? So the biggest benefit actually, especially with e-commerce, is you having access to a wider market. Especially for MSMEs, no? The question on the mind is always, paano ba ako lalago? Paano papalagahin to? Paano papalakihin? And e-commerce is one of the best ways to expand your market. Given a bigger market size, you'll have more volume, more value. You'll be able to offer more things to your customer. The second benefit is actually what I see is efficiency. So there are things that you do not need to pay for when you're going to go online kasi it's free. And it's easier to go scale up. So meaning scaling up is maraming mga tao, you with one setup, you're able to do a lot of things. So these two benefits actually are huge for MSMEs to become bigger and to continue doing business. Now, the third thing is that if we're concerned about people who are losing jobs because of e-commerce, I don't think that will be the biggest concern now, because we're seeing a lot of jobs being created by this e-commerce scene. So ako, as an employee of Lazada, I'm one of them na benefiting of having a job in the e-commerce industry. And we're seeing new businesses growing, and more of them are actually having more employees, more business, and more transactions. In fact, it's more because businesses are more efficient right now. It's easier for them to spend on what actually their people need in the long run. So that being said, of course, there's a lot of skills that are available and that are skills that are needed when going online and doing your e-commerce business. So that's why I think platforms like us and a lot of other platforms out there are also trying to upskill a lot of their employees para mas matuto sila, no? So there are a lot of free courses out there. So this one is one of them, this DTI effort. And there are a lot of others. On Lazada alone, may Lazada University. You can go there for free as long as you sign up. And I think people will eventually also go into this scene and learn a new set of skills. And then jobs will be created, and a lot more jobs will be available for more people.
Thank you, Petrus. Actually, also in terms of that Lazada University, I've been also in talks with Lazada University. They're asking TEMS if we can also create some programs to help their trainer sellers. So I guess understanding that certain organizations really put a premium to the people, because if mawalan kayo ng tao, may they be your sellers or in your back end, then it's, even if for all the automation you can talk about, it will still be powered by people. So I guess it's understanding, how do we upskill these people, as you did mention, Petrus, to make them even more effective in new roles that are coming up. Dana, would you care to share your point of view in this?
Well, a lot of the things Petrus had touched on, no, but one of the benefits of moving into the digital space is you now are able to expand your reach. Kung baga kung dati offline ka lang, you have your own shop, your restaurant, your own branch. Ngayon, maaari ka nang magpunta online. I think kailangan din ma-shift yung mindset natin na digital is not going to destroy what is traditional. Digital will actually expand and augment ang ating mga serbisyo. Gaya nga ng sabi ko, magkakaroon na tayo ng offline at online presence. And dahil dito, mas magiging adaptable tayo and mas magiging less affected tayo pag mayroong mga external factors na nagaganap. Katulad, magandang halimbawa dito yung nangyayari ngayon. Since tayo ay nasa ECQ, maraming mga negosyante ang nangailangan talagang mag-shift online. Maraming nauna na last year pa lang or in the previous years have already started moving their businesses, augmenting their businesses to have an online presence. Marami ring na puwersa na mag-shift online. And the good thing about this is it also helps build up the skills of people. I think that just because you go digital doesn't mean that it will render people unnecessary. People upskilling, na mention ito multiple times kanina, no? Magbibigay ako ng example. So sa Lala Move, para maging fully onboarded or fully verified driver ka, kinakailangan ay matrain ka, pumasa ka sa exam, ma-screen lahat ng requirements mo. Lahat ito ginagawa ng ating mga trainers. So, ang ating trainers team ay napakalaki. Pero ngayong tayo ay nasa ECQ, at fully digital na at fully virtual na ang ating onboarding sa mga partner drivers, hindi ibig sabihin nito wala ng trabaho ang ating mga trainers. It's also the responsibility of the companies to ensure the security of the jobs of our people by constantly upskilling them and training them to expand their capability. So ngayon, ang ating mga trainers ay hindi obsolete. In fact, we will be severely crippled if not for our trainers that are still working in supporting our virtual training. Dahil kailangan pa rin naman may human touch pa rin kahit na naging digital na tayo. And moving into digital, syempre, I don't think this will deplete job opportunities for people. In fact, the amount of jobs created by companies that have digitized is exponential. Magbibigay din ako ng isa pang halimbawa. So, ang Lala Move ay may daang-daang employees. Apart from this, meron din po tayong libo-libong drivers. We serve almost 60,000 drivers or entrepreneurs in the platform. And then meron din po tayong milyong-milyong SMEs at consumers na nakadepende sa digital platform. So hindi dahil nag-digital tayo, mawawalan na tayo ng trabaho. I think that it is an opportunity creator more than anything.
Thank you, Dana. I can connect to what you said also because you mentioned that digital will not take away, but if with the proper mindset and also applied properly, it is really an enhancement and augmentation of what your current businesses already have. Okay, thank you very much, Dana. JP, on your end, what are the benefits of transformation in e-commerce?
Yeah, I guess marami rin kasi mga layered questions dito. So number one is, mahal ba siya? Nasa inyo po yon kung gusto niyo na mahal o gusto niyo na mura. Para pong kotse, di po ba? Pag bibili ka ng kotse, pwede ka bumili ng SUV, pero pwede ka naman po bumili ng mas murang brand. Ganun po yon. So, sa panahon po ngayon, sobrang dami na technology na pwedeng gamitin. Software, platforms, everything na available for the business people na magagamit. So, it's about being able to find them. And yun po, pag-aralan niyo po yung mga technology na yun. So, what's the main benefit of going digital? Alam po natin, di ba, sa management, sa business courses, lagi po pinag-aaralan yan, yung triangle, yung parang yung the mouth of the tiger, nakataas, nakababa, nakabukas yan, di ba? Pataas is profit, pababa is cost. Yun po ang purpose of going digital. To be able to automate as much as possible and to speed up processes para bumaba ang cost, bumilis ang trabaho, at umakyat ang profit. Yun po yung pinaka-benefit niyan. But a lot of people are saying, pero paano kung napakataas ng investment na ginawa ko sa simula? Right? So, yung pong pag-akyat ng profit at pagbaba ng cost, magte-take effect po yan kapag na-implement nyo na po siya talaga ng tama. So meron pong phases yung pag-implement ng transformation. Merong phase wherein pinag-aaralan nyo pa lang, may phase na pinapilot nyo na siya, may phase na talaga ni-roll out nyo na. And yung pagbaba ng cost at pagtaas ng profit, nandun po yun sa phase na ni-roll out nyo na. Kasi remember, ang pag-roll out po ng digital transformation, hindi lang naman po kayo yan or mga tao nyo. Remember, your customers, the ones you are dealing with, sila rin po, mararamdaman nila yan. Kung dati po, storefront tayo, nakikita lang tayo sa SM kasi wala po tayong contract sa Ayala Malls. Ngayon po, online na tayo. So even your customers, ma-feel na nila that they can always reach you better, reach you easier kasi may web presence na kayo or nasa Lazada na kayo, di ba? Madalas ipopromote yan. We are now in Lazada. Di ba? Nakakakita kayo ng advertisement ng gano'n. So even the customers, ma-feel nila yan. Yung supplier nyo, yung supply chain niyo, mararamdaman din nila yung transformation niyo. I'll be very honest, hindi po lahat ng transformation is about bringing yourself out there online to the world. May transformation din po kasi na nangyayari na nasa likod, nasa back office yung transformation. You and your supplier, you and your distribution network. Lalo na pag B2B po, ang business to business po ang pinag-uusapan. So yung mga ganung bagay po. No? So for me, those are the key benefits of going digital. Parang sa amin po sa UnionBank, nung nagsimula kami mag-offer ng account opening sa app, ay biglang, I think, 2,000, 3,000% spike in terms of account opening for personal accounts. So yung mga ganung bagay po, yung mga benefits. Marirealize yung benefits once that your customer or the people you intend to na maka-feel ng benefit has really seen that actual speed or convenience or whatever it is na yung goal ng transformation ninyo. I'd like to check also, there was one question. It was a very, very valid question about the people. Right?
Let's go ahead, David. Go ahead.
Yeah. In the bank, when we started our transformation, ang unang sinabi ng presidente namin, si Edwin Bautista, is no one will get left behind. Ang ibig sabihin po noon, hindi porket nagtatransform kami, mawawala na kayo ng trabaho. Yan, marami po natakot dyan kasi pag nag-automate ka ng process, yan. Tapos meron pa mga very, very scary words like robotic process automation. Max, yung mga robots daw. Pero iba pong ibig sabihin. Pero marami nagsabi, paano na ako? Ako yung nagpiprint ng cheque ng mga kliyente natin araw-araw sa likod. Ibig sabihin, wala na akong trabaho. Ganun ba yon? Hindi po ganun yon. Kasi sa likod po ng technology, meron pa ring taong nagpapatakbo niyan. Di po ba? That's why importante po talaga na maturuan natin yung mga tao natin to either transform the processes they are doing or transform to a different kind of job that they might be interested in doing. Wala po kaming tinanggal, wala kaming pinaresign for redundancies, nothing. Everyone stayed put, everyone transformed. Parang yung kwento ko po kanina, di ba? Meron nga po kami security guard sa office namin, outsource siya. Naging interesado doon sa isang training program. I think it was about financial advisory for dummies. Parang ganoon eh. And then, tinulungan namin siya makagraduate din kasi wala po siyang degree para ma-employ namin siya sa bangko at naging financial advisor siya sa insurance arm namin. So even that kind of transformation, basta sa amin po, and I hope that every business owner, every CEO, every executive will also take this into heart. Every digital transformation, put your people first. It means nobody should be left behind. Always include them in very critical decision making, lalo na po pag pinag-uusapan is redundancy sa trabaho, mababawasan yung level ng trabaho. Kasi meron po laging paglalagyan ng mga tao natin. May example si Petrus kanina, tumaas pa yung number of employees nila. Diba? Sa amin din, actually, tumaas din yung number of employees namin kasi may mga bagong klaseng trabaho kami na nabuksan para sa mga existing namin at sa mga bagong papasok.
Okay. Maraming salamat, JP. So, again, trying to see anong common sa lahat. So, for all of your services seem to have given a convenience to your end user or yung kasama po sa ecosystem ninyo. It also allowed larger reach in terms of an audience and probably larger scale baka sa transactions. As you mentioned, JP, nag-spike. Dumami yung mga employees both on Lazada and Lala Move. And as that goes, I think may inherent challenge din po yan. In any increase of audience base or transaction, lumalabas din po yung mga concerns for customer experience, yung customer satisfaction. Baka ngayon, tataas yung expectations din po ng mga kasama natin sa back-end, our partners, but also, of course, our end customers, our end users. So when you talk about managing a customer experience and customer satisfaction, how do you guys go about it, and how does digital actually help create a better experience? May I ask Dana to share your thoughts on this?
I think mula dun sa na-mention natin kanina, no, na centering yung mga decision natin on our purpose or why we exist, yun yung makakatulong para masigurado na napoprotektahan natin yung mga interest ng ating mga customers, ng lahat ng gumagamit ng ating platform. As we build services that are geared towards making lives easier for them, making things efficient, more affordable, reliable, the customer experience will definitely continue to get better. The nice thing din po about going digital is mas mabilis tayong makakagalaw as compared to sa way back 10, 20 years from now. If you want to make a decision or build something new, build a new factory, hire more drivers, buy more vehicles, mas matagal ito. Pero ngayong nasa digital na tayo, mas mabilis tayong nakakagalaw, nakakapag-isip, nakakapag-test, nakakapag-execute. If it fails, we go back again, we test it, we build something new centered on our why, we test it again, and then we push it out in the market. I like what Petrus had said earlier, that Lazada now is not the Lazada it was when it started in 2012, because that's really what digital platforms should continue to have innately, which is continuing to adapt to whatever the market will dictate or the market or our customers' needs are.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Dana. If you can hear from Petrus.
Yeah, no. What Dana said is very real to us. No? And let me give an example about that. Actually, if you think about it, ang mga customer, pag online na, mas demanding pa sila. Why do I say that? Dati, hindi mo pa na-receive yung item mo, hindi mo na kailangan makita yan. Pero over the years that e-commerce has been here, we had to create a solution para people are able to track their item, na hindi mo kailangan tawagan yung customer service. Kaya on the app, di ba, nagkaroon na kami ng tracking number na makikita mo yon online, na nasa na ba yung item ko, nasa sort center na ba yan, na-pick up na ba yan, na-pick up na ba from the seller, or na-pack na ba niya, or parating na ba sa akin yan. So that's one of the ways that technology has accelerated ito and trying to go and meet the demands of the customers. And as customers get this better service, as things improve, they actually become more demanding because they suddenly realize na, uy, pwede pala ganito. Why don't I demand for something better? Now, we're actually seeing a lot of people demanding for faster delivery time, more quality ng products. Now they're also asking about security. So these are things na as a platform are good things for us to improve on. And constantly, as Dana said, as a platform, we are continuously evolving. And how is that happening? We're using technology. So technology is enabling us to respond faster to all these concerns and wants of the customer. So I think that's how technology really helps answer the customer experience, and not just the customer experience, pati yung mga seller experience. So on both sides, a lot of developments are happening, and at the core of it is itong seller and buyer interaction.
Thank you, Pet. And also to our guest panelists, I'm sure you're also seeing a number of the questions being posed. So if you see that there's anything relevant that you want to add on to your answers as you're replying, feel free to address those as well. I think that's JP did also earlier by answering another question that was relevant to his answer. But yes, JP, in terms of your point of view, in terms of the customer experience.
Customer experience, alam mo, tama kayong lahat. Gumagrabe na gumagrabe anytime you go online, no? Of course, because mas madali ka na nilang maka-interact eh. That's one. So what we do also, we created a department inside. We call it the Customer Experience Group, the CX Group, no? And their job really is to keep the ears as close to the ground as possible. Always listen, and relay what the customers are saying to the main bank. And doon po kami nag-a-adjust, doon kami nag-a-adapt para po mabilis yung aming interaction at pagsagot. Now, the customer experience group, they minamanage po nila para sa amin kung ano yung mga positive, negative, and mga neutral responses of customers. Especially po ngayon, napakadaming channels. May magsasabi ng maganda sa Facebook, may hindi nagsasabi ng maganda sa Instagram. Iba-iba po yan eh. So if hindi ka po nakatingin sa lahat ng channels where your customers are speaking, doon po normally nagkakaroon ng problema. So again, lagi ko po rin sinasabi, pag may nagtatanong, saan ba dapat ako nagpo-promote ng aking mga produkto? Unang-una, nasaan ba yung customers nyo? Yun po yung importante. Saan sila nakikipag-communicate sa inyo? Kung dati storefront, at napapansin nyo, yung mga customers ko, parang mga estudyante itong mga to. O nasaan ba maraming estudyante? Maraming estudyante nasa Lazada, nasa Shopee, mga ganyan, o nasa Facebook. Then that is where you engage. And always keep your eyes in those engagement channels, lalo na pag digital. Minsan nangyayari, may mga kliyente rin nagtanong sa akin, nakakapagod kasi kung palagi kang nasa Facebook, palagi kang nasa Twitter, palagi kang nagbabasa. Alam nyo po, importante po kasi kapag hindi kayo nagbasa, hindi nyo makikita yung mga complaints. And one complaint that is not answered will ripple to 5 different complaints. Minsan nga po, ang isang tao o isang kliyente, kapag nagreklamo sa Facebook yan, tapos naglagay ka ng post, may bago akong produkto, ito siya. Makikita mo siya yung unang-unang comment, yung ang binireklamo ko, hindi mo pa sinasagot, may bago ka na naman ganyan. Diba? Mahirap yun Dapat yung customer experience talaga, always immediately as fast as you can, masagot nyo kagad kung meron mang complaint. Kung may praises, magpasalamat kayo agad sa kanila. And then, again, just always keep your ears on the ground, your eyes on the screen kung nasa online na kayo na channel. Iwasan nyo po, lalo na sa mga mag-e-commerce on the retail space, the food space, for example. Iwasan nyo po magkaroon ng comment na, 5 araw na ako nag-aantay, wala pa yung delivery ko. Yan. If you have your ears on the ground, may iwasan nyo magkaroon ng ganung comment. You will always be engaging your customer. Message them, ma'am, preparing na po kami. Ma'am, malapit na po, huwag kayong mag-alala. Ma'am, ECQ lang po kasi, kaya bigyan nyo po ng additional 3 days. Yung mga ganung bagay yan. Always keep them engaged. And that's the number 1 solution on customer service, is keeping them engaged.
Okay, salamat JP. Yes, keeping them engaged. I think I can connect yung sinabi po ni Petrus kasi itong ECQ, 2 na yung products na in-order ko sa Lazada. Isa yung clipper para sa buhok ko. Isa naman charging cable kasi lahat ng lightning cable ng mga iPhone dito sa bahay sira. But yeah, yung tracking, I think nakita ko nagbago yung tracking. Dati tracking number lang. The next time I check, sa pangalawang shipment, may map na lumabas. So I don't know if I didn't see the map function, but it just made me feel, on the way na siya. So no need for me to feel, nervous or whatever. Parating na siya. So again, tumataas yung expectation, but it's also using technology to help in managing the expectation and giving the best experience. Here's a question po. I think I'll address it to everyone. I think some of you touched on it, but baka you can give a more definitive answer where you're coming from. This is from George Season. Does transitioning to e-commerce affect our expenses and product price? Will we have lesser profit? So again, I mean, there are many ways I'm sure of answering that, but maybe just to manage, we have around 10, 15 minutes. But again, is it expensive? Will our profits be lower? So I'm sure that's it's depend context, but let's hear everyone in terms of your answers. Dana, what would your response to this question be? Is it expensive? Will your profits go down?
I think I'll answer from the perspective of the industry I'm in, which is logistics. No, shifting into digitized logistics has actually allowed us to drive our prices down and increase profits even further. Why do I say this? Dahil we expanded our reach, more customers are serviced, more drivers are onboarded, mas marami po ang nasuserbisyohan nating orders, mas malaki po ang kinikita. Therefore, mas napapababa natin ang pricing. Lalong-lalo na ang expectations ng mga tao ay nag-iiba na ngayon. Kung dati okay lang na 3 to 7 days ang item ninyo, ngayon kailangan same day within 1 hour. I need to get my items immediately. So, touching on driving price down, enabling profits to go higher, I also want to touch on expanding services further dahil nga tayo ay nasa digital space na. So, na-mention ko rin kanina na hindi tayo dapat matakot to shift to digital. Wala pong, if anything, this will augment and expand your services even further. In worst case scenarios, like what we have now in the COVID situation, you still have your digital presence. In the best case scenario where everything is normal, meron kang offline, meron kang online, at tumatakbo ang negosyo mo with 2 areas now.
Okay, thank you, Dana. I think the last part of your question, I wanted to relate it to one of the questions sa audience. Someone was asking about e-commerce, if you still have your brick and mortar storefront and also having a digital storefront. But I don't know if that answers the question, but there is now a benefit that you can manage your click and mortar at yung brick and mortar. So never na po natutulog yung click and mortar natin 24/7. So that's a distinct benefit. But yeah, maybe like we can ask JP your response on, is it expensive? Will profits go down if you're going to a transformation?
If we relate to the original part of it, where if you transform to e-commerce, no, will it be expensive? It will be expensive if you're not responsible. If, for example, gusto kong magkaroon ng e-commerce, sabi kasi ng DTI, dapat mag-shift na ako to e-commerce, di ba? Tapos naghanap ka ngayon ng naghanap ka ng web developer from the United States who will charge you $120 per hour just to make you a website. Expensive po yon, di po ba? But if you engage platforms like Lazada who will allow you to sign up for free, if you want to sell on a marketplace, o kung si Global Linker po, naisipan nyo gumawa ng sariling website, libre naman po kami. So hindi na po expensive yon, di po ba? So yung pong pag-aaral kung ano yung mga available para sa inyo right now, which is a webinar na ginagawa po natin yung Control Biz. Napakaganda nito because na-promote natin kung ano yung mga mabilis, ready, available, and libre para sa kanila. No? So remember, kaya lang po siya magiging mahal is if akala kasi natin yun dapat ang gawin ko eh. Ganun eh. So dapat talaga pag-isipan natin mabuti bago tayo gumawa ng isang bagay. Akala ko kasi kailangan, o kaya sabi kasi ng isang kaibigan ko, dapat daw mag-hire ako ng graphic artist para maganda yung website ko eh. Hindi po palaging ganun yun. Sabi kasi sa akin nung isang consultant ko, yung kabarkada ko, kailangan billing ko daw tong software na to. Eh mahal-mahal naman pala. Kaya siya nagiging mahal. Dahil ganon. So always remember, there's other alternatives when you do transformation. Sobrang daming alternatives, sobrang daming systems that could be perfect for how much your resources na pwede mong i-allocate sa kanya. At number 2, syempre yung fact na naiintindihan mo ba gamitin yung technology na yon. Marami din mga technology, mga systems na madaling intindihin, madaling pag-aralan, kaya madaling i-implement ng mga businesses. So yun po yung sagot ko. Kung mahal siya o hindi, nasa atin po talaga yon. Maraming mahal, maraming mura. Pero lahat po yan effective.
Okay. Salamat, JP. Yes, I think that's true. Kasi, there is a freemium model. Free muna. Testing muna. Let's see. And see if it works for us. Then you go to the premium version where you start paying. So at the starting point, lahat po from email marketing, ang daming free. Lahat ng starting point and free. Website creators, Facebook's free. So importante na po mag-experiment din. I think that's important. But yes, we can start with free, going into paid. Pag na mas klaro sa atin what works for us without having to go into big investments or any payment first for a paid platform. Petrus, on the Lazada side, your response?
So I think if it's going to be expensive, para I don't think that's going to be expensive so much. Kasi the beautiful time right now, just to add to what JP and Dana said, right now, ang daming options. ang daming options ng lahat ng tao. There's Lala Move, there's Lazada, there's Grab, and you're not tied to be staying in just one platform. You can use everybody's platform and sign up lahat doon. And most of these platforms will allow you to sign up for free. And these arrays of options actually very good din itong ginagawa ng DTI kasi you are able to see ano yung mga enablers that is anong bagay sa business mo. So if you're talking about what do you need, no? It doesn't have to be expensive kasi if you already have a website, for example, if you already have your operations in place, all you need is to sign up on Lazada, for example, to have your own store to get more traffic. Or you can also engage with Dana, yung Lala Move, so that for delivery services. So that's one option. If you need financing or any other service, you can also go to JP, sa UnionBank. So there are a lot of options and most of them are free. The second thing is expenses. Now, how will it affect your expenses? Yes, there are certain investments that may be needed to be invested upon, tulad ng mga sa tao. You might need to invest in some people. You might need to invest in some back-end logistics, or we might need to invest in additional wares. But it depends naman on your business, where you want to take it. If you want to start from the comfort of your own homes and a very small inventory, ikaw mismo nagpapack, pwedeng-pwede. But if you want to take it bigger, there's no problem. Again, there's an option. But most likely, expenses will go down for me. Kasi there are a lot of expenses that you do not have to do when you're setting up. You can use your existing business permit, for example, not a new company. Or there are rent. You don't need to rent an additional store space, for example. So there are things that in expense side nababawasan siya. And then when we talk about this, people usually forget that it's not just about expenses. It's also about revenue. Revenue, ibig sabihin yung benta ko mas malaki. And most of the time, those will cover a lot of the investments that we will have to do. So, and the third thing I want to say is that now that we have this program of DTI, this reboot package, a lot of the platforms, especially us, everybody here in the panel, are offering a lot of services that we did not offer before and now are free. So I advise everybody to take advantage of that situation. And this one, learning is one of them.
Thank you, Petrus. And again, also for reminding that DTI, of course, has played a key role in making all of the platforms as accessible as possible sa mga MSME natin. So with that, I think we're ending to the closing of our panel. But as a last thought, it's like a two-part question, because if hopefully our MSMEs are getting more convinced, there is still that question of aspect on safety and security. There are concerns of sellers who, if I have products and my designs are very unique to myself and they're on a store, and then baka nakawin o gayahin yung produkto ko. There is concerns about scammers and fake sellers and what happens to things like about data. And when you look at it, parang, uy, ang dami pa palang consideration. But again, it's those are good questions to have, because I think the word that JP used was being responsible. But maybe just to close, if you could address your thoughts on how to deal with aspects of safety and security as a business owner, and then your last words of encouragement, just to really convince everyone, to get into e-commerce as part of your transformation. So that'll be the last round, and then maybe we can have Petrus to share your response.
Okay, so I think there are a lot of concerns here. Safety, security, scammers, data privacy. So to answer that, I think it's very important actually to get partners that not only are there and available, but also you trust. So at least for most of the partners that EDT has engaged, pwede po kayong mag-trust doon. So security and safety, for example, on our side, we have a biz risk team and a platform governance team that 24 hours a day, may mga technology kami na nag-sweep to the platform to check. We have a customer service in place. And data security is one of the pillars of all the platforms here. So including us, we have one of the biggest technology backers in the world. And we are employing that to make sure that all our customers or sellers are safe. Now, With that, no, I'd like also to answer some of the one of the Q&As, sabi na kasi I think a lot of questions I'm going through them. Tinatanong nila parang pwede ba sa akin yan, or I think some of them are very specific. Pwede ba yan sa motors and parts? Pwede ba yan sa food? And for us, yes. So all the categories have something to benefit in terms of going digital. And one of the benefits actually is if you engage a trusted partner, is that you're also taking part in that trust. So of course there will be people who will try to do something that the platforms do not intend to. But that is a constant evolution of the platform. We are constantly looking for ways to serve, and I think together the community will find and look for ways to be able to solve these concerns.
Thank you, Petros. May we have JP?
Yeah. So, maraming tanong about that, about being secured, yung mga nakokopya yung produkto, intellectual property, and all those things. No? Well, tama naman talaga. When you select a partner, when you select someone that you're going to, kumbaga, parang kasi mangyayari yan, parang, ini-entrust ko sa'yo. Di ba? Yung store ko, yung e-commerce store ko. Always look at the size of the partner and kung may mga known ba na mga issues dati or things like that, diba? How good or how strong is their own security? Ano mga ginagawa nila kapag may mga issues on infringements, copyrights, yung mga ganyang bagay. Although that might sound very technical, but one way to really look at it is yung pinapartneran ko ba, how big of an organization are them, and does government agencies also promote them? Yan. Unang-una yan. Pwede mo kagad tignan yan. But honestly, in reality, when you go out to e-commerce, mangyayari po yan. Parang sa regular world, 'di ba? Napapansin natin 'to. May magtatayo ng sisig restaurant sa isang kalye. After 3 days, meron nagtayo ng sisig restaurant sa katabi niya. Tapos may magtatayo ng another sisig restaurant na may itlog doon lang sa kabilang kalye. Ganun po talaga sa commerce. Pag may isa nagkiklik, other people will jump in. Right? The same with e-commerce and more in e-commerce because mas marami nakakakita ng produkto ninyo. Now, it's about maintaining your customer engagement and maintaining the quality of your service, the quality of your product. Yun po yung pinaka-importante. Right now, mag-search ka ng hair clipper online, you will find, di ba? How many? 1,000 different sellers of hair clippers. Ganun po talaga yun. Pero tignan nyo, kanino kayo mag-gravitate? Una kayo mag-gravitate, tignan nyo, 5 stars tong taong to, trusted siya. Di ba? That's one. So, as a seller, you have to make sure in marketplaces like Lazada, you also keep that high rating and trust rating of other customers kasi doon po sila normally mag-gravitate. Second is, titignan nyo, di ba, pag nakita nyo shipping from ship from other countries or shipping from NCR or promise a 7-day shipping, 3-day shipping. Yan yung mga value add, yung mga keeping your brand promise alive dun sa customers, and that's more that people will gravitate towards you. Kasi honestly, again, if a customer suddenly posts, yung produkto 20 days bago ko nakuha, tapos pagbukas ko ng box, sira agad. Scrap na yon. Mawawala ka na sa listahan ng ibang mga buyers. So you have to maintain So even if maraming kumopya sa'yo, don't worry. Hindi nila makokopya yung ikaw na nag-provide ng different kind of value-add service para sa mga tao. Yan po.
Okay, thank you, JP. And for the final response for this panel, may we ask Dana to share her point of view.
Alam mo, napakaganda na i-close natin itong panel na to with that question. Kasi I'm sure, napakadaling sabihin, go digital, madaling mag-digital. Pero inherently, it's such a big change for people. And change is really something that we have to manage within our teams, with ourselves. So, understandable na there are concerns on safety, security, whether makokopya ba yung produkto ko, ang data ko ba secured. But before we get to that, one thing that I hope everyone, all the entrepreneurs here, keep in mind is we need to know what our core value proposition is. Ano ba ang nagpapaiba sa produkto mo or sa serbisyo mo? Dahil gaya nga ng na-mention kanina ni JP, kung nag-iisa ka ngayon, chances are magiging 100 na ang kumukopya sa'yo by tomorrow. And that's natural. Sabi nga nila, imitation is the best form of flattery, diba? Dahil alam mo na relevant ang produkto o ang serbisyo mo. Pero ano ang value proposition mo na iyo lang, ang specialty mo ay sa'yo lang. Kaya napaka-importante na we secure that more than anything. Now, secondly, as you go digital, both JP and Petrus touched on this. It's extremely important that you partner with reliable partners. All the partners that DTI endorses are reputable, are secure, and they will help you address any concerns on safety, security, data privacy. So these companies are already established. Hayaan na natin ang Lazada with their enhanced data security team, problemahin nila kung anong gagawin nila dyan. Habang ako as a seller, I will focus on making sure that my product is perfect, right? Hayaan na natin ang Lala Move problemahin kung ilan ng driver nila, ilan ng truck nila. Basta ako, ang sisiguraduhin ko, ang mga food na binibenta ko ay the best in the market. Right? Hayaan na natin, siguraduhin natin na meron tayong extended na mga payment services with the help of other digital banks that are in the industry. One strategy that some big companies previously employed before they got big is that they used to partner so much with multiple groups for services that are not their specialty. Kumbaga, hindi yun yung core nila. Bakit? Dahil mas maganda na mag-focus tayo dun sa core natin. And pag umabot tayo sa panahon, pag malaki na ang profits natin at may capability na tayo to do it ourselves, and our company is big enough to accommodate it, why not? Right? You don't have to take digital transformation from 0 to 100 agad. It can just be baby steps, 0 to 1 to 5 until you hit that 100. So maraming salamat po.
Okay, with that, I'd like to thank very much our panelists, Dana from Lala Move, Petrus from Lazada, and JP from UnionBank. Again, the experience and expertise and insights that you shared, hopefully will help our MSMEs really dive into their transformation and maximizing e-commerce and everything digital to allow everyone to survive and thrive in the challenging situations. And I think also connecting it to how DTI has been moving this forward. It is an effort of bayanihan na magtutulungan po tayo. There are many ways that we are working with one another. And I think if there's a major takeaway that comes from this is that, how do we help everyone in our country to survive and thrive in this situation and also moving forward. With that, again, thank you to our panelists. And I'd like to give a number of thanks to our other partners. But before I do that, please to all of our attendees, don't fail to take the survey form and feedback form at the end when you exit. And also it's found in your chat, the link. But with that, thank you for having us, DTI STEMS as your learning partner, Wonderman Thompson as our agency partner, and also our other partners throughout the Control Plus Biz Reboot, Take Control of Your Business Now, Food Panda, GCash, Google, Grab Express and Grab Food, Lala Move, Lazada, Lead More, PayMaya, PodX PayLink and PodX GoGo Express, Shopee, Singapore Institute of Materials Management, UnionBank, and Zalora. And before I go, I see Asik Jean. Would you care to share a few words with our audience for this at the end of this panel? Asik Jean. I think you're still
Again,
Asik. There we go.
I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you very much, TJ, again for a splendid moderating session, for moderating the session. Also to JP and Petrus and Dana from Lala Move, to your teams, and thank you so much, of course, to ED Nestor Palabyab. Actually, I would like to just I said, sabi ko sayang, don't na give me the time for the closing so that we have more time for the speakers to speak. But allow me to just answer one question in the Q&A, which was not anymore read. It came from Warren de Guzman. I don't know if it is Warren de Guzman of ABS, but let me share with you his question. He said, to DTI, thank you for spearheading the digital transformation. From these webinars, it is apparent that private sectors are already supporting you. My question is, what are the support being given by other government sectors and agencies, BIR, FDA, etc. To Warren and to everyone, I would like to say that what happened for the past 4 days has really strengthened the view that indeed many of our mga kababayans are really wanting and really ready to accept e-commerce, no? And we realize that indeed there are many questions by our audience about what are the government policies, whether it is in the area of taxation, intellectual property. So I am pleased to inform you that yes, we will do a part 2. And this time we would like to bring in our regulators, because of course you have your business, you set up your business, but of course there are certain regulations that you have to abide by or comply with. So gusto ho natin ease of doing business. So gagawin din po natin yan. But I'm very happy next, sa lahat po na nakikinig sa atin sa Facebook Live at sa mga nandito po ngayon sa ating Zoom, next week po, lalagyan natin ng konti pang yung mga impormasyon na gusto nyo pang dagdagan natin. Aayusin ho yan natin ng mga mukhang May 12 to 14, I think, bago po tayo ma-lift na siguro yung ating ECQ, no? We will use this time that we are in the lull to really answer all of the questions and get all of the other government agencies based again on your questions, on the viewers' questions. So there, thank you very much, and we only have one more session to go. I'm quite excited, but it has really been a pleasure. At salamat po sa mga nanonood throughout the country. So thank you very much, TJ, and thank you everyone, Pet, Don, everybody, and JP. Thank you all for being so generous with your wisdom. Thank you.
And thank you very much, Asik Jean, and of course, DKI for putting all of this and bringing us all together with the true Bayanihan spirit. So, yes, everyone, thank you for joining us. There'll be one more session later at 5 o'clock. So, feel free to maybe field a few more questions on the Q&A function before we close it. But with that, good afternoon to everyone, and we hope to see you at the 5 o'clock session later this afternoon. So, thank you, everyone.
Habang nakatigil ang mundo, habang ligtas tayo sa ating mga tahanan, may mga pumiling manatili sa harap ng digmaan laban sa COVID-19. Para sa inyong patuloy na nagpapatakbo sa makina ng bansa. Para sa inyong laging nakaabang sa ating mga daungan at paliparan. Para sa inyong nagtatawid ng aming mga pangangailangan sa kalsada, karagatan at himpapawid. Para sa inyong mga nagbabantay sa mga warehouse at terminal. Para sa inyong mga nakikipagsapalaran sa daan. Para sa inyong naghahatid sa amin ng malasakit at kabayanihan. Kayong mga frontliners sa logistics at supply chain, kakibat kayo ng mga tuktok, NARS, sundalo at pulis. Patid namin ang mga sakripisyo ninyo at pagtitiis. Kasama ang buong sambayanan, Ang lahat ay nagbibigay pugay at puso-puso papasalamat sa pagharap ninyo sa tiyak na pahamak para sa bayan. Mabuhay kayo, mga bayani ng bayan.
Kaya natin yan. Kaya natin yan. Kung nais umasenso, manap ng trabaho, o di kaya'y subukang magnegosyo. Lumikha ng produkto't sikaping lumago, inspirasyon mong pagkapiko. Katuwang ng gobyerno sa iyong tagumpay, iisa ang ating hangarin. Pag may abilidad at oportunidad, tiyak na ang lahat ay uunlad. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan. Walang iwalan. Go lang ng go mga kaibigan. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan. Sulo, Pilipinas! Go, 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 kababayan! Kaya natin yan. Kaya natin yan. Kayong magtipid sa iyong mga pangarap, sige-sige sa pagsisikap. Asenso'y sigurado sa hinaharap, manalig lang palagi sa sarili. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan. Walang iwanan. Go lang ng go mga kaibigan. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan. Sulo,